Hello and welcome to Cooking with the Wooden Spoon. We have a lot going on in the kitchen today. We're making broth out of chicken breasts or chicken thighs, I think. And I've got an awesome soup that I'm having for lunch. Um, but if I'm honest, most of the soups that I make are very much tailored to me and my taste. Today's soup is all Matt. Everything in this soup is definitely Matt's vibe. It's his flavor palette, except for the onions. But I guess that's compromise in a marriage. I don't know. Onions, and he does love garlic, but onions are not his favorite. But everything else in this soup is just amazing. This is a dump and go soup for the most part. For this soup, it is called a cowboy stew. For this cowboy stew, we're using ground beef, and I did cook the ground beef ahead of time, and it calls for sausage. I'm using local butcher hot dogs because Matt loves them. These are from Wilkinson's farm, and my ground beef is from Dreamy 280. As you know, we purchase quarter cows from Dreamy 280, and I honestly cannot say enough about the quality of the meat and about the quality of the buying process. Dreamy 280 is so incredibly detail oriented and organized. Every time we get a quarter of a cow, the process is just smooth and seamless. They know what they're doing and they do it well. One other thing that I can definitely say about Dreamy 280 is they really love their animals. So every every piece of meat comes out of love for them. So I have just a tremendous amount of respect for them. Today's Cowboy chili um, has baked beans, which are Matt friendly, potatoes, white russet potatoes, which are Matt friendly, bacon, which is Matt friendly, and well, Matt tolerates green chilies and crushed tomatoes. So basically, we're just going to throw everything in the crock pot and walk away. As I said, I did brown the beef and I sauteed the onion. It's not necessary to do that, but I didn't get my act together to have this go in the crock pot really early this morning, which I usually like to do. Um, so we're starting this and we're cooking it on high and not on low. If I were cooking it on low, I probably would have been more comfortable with keeping the onions raw when we put them in. But the first thing we're going to do is cut our potatoes. I, as much as I can, cook skin on the potatoes because the nutrients for a potato pretty much are under the skin. And if you take the skin off, you're taking away some of the nutritional value. And for vegetables, you know, I'm very vegetable-y. I really think maintaining the health of the vegetables as much as possible is important. So speaking of health of the vegetables, let me show you the soup that I made for my lunch. This is definitely not Matt friendly, but it is a butternut squash and carrot and what else did I throw in here? Onion, sage. Anyway, it's delicious. At some point, we will make that together. Today won't be the day because it's one of those soups that I invented in my mind and I wasn't sure if it would turn out well. And so I didn't want to commit to doing that with you guys until I knew it was okay. And now I know it's very okay. Hi, Bo. Bo has a little bit of a bellyache today, and we don't know why. But it's sad to see him a little less pep in his step today. But that's okay. He's a 2-year-old puppy, and he's got pep most days. So there we go. So today in Wisconsin, it's pretty cold. When I woke up this morning, it was 19 degrees and the feels like temperature was 7. So it is a little bit chilly today, but this stew is going to be perfect for a day like today. You may be wondering also, what is the difference between a soup and a stew? Great question. A stew, simply put, is just less brothy. So stews tend to be more rich, I guess. I would say rich, yeah. More rich, more dense, more substantial than a soup. I'm a fan of both, but every once in a while, it's just nice to have just a really hearty soup for dinner. If you heard Bo, he agrees. So we're going to give these a loose chop. I actually set out my serrated knife because meats like this cut much, much, much easier with a serrated knife. So you can make this as big chunks or little chunks as you like. I am just keeping them kind of big because I think Matt will enjoy biting into that a little bigger and getting a little more of intense flavor. So next is the bacon. You can do 6 slices of bacon that you crumble. I just used bacon crumbles that I bought at Costco, and they're perfect. So often I do use local bacon from different farms here, but today I'm going for quick. I'm going to wash my hands and do the rest. Okay. So, you know what? I need a 1/4 cup of flour. So this soup will be pretty thick, and part of the reason that it will be thick is because I'm going to take some flour and mix a little bit of our broth with it, and that'll act as a thickening agent. I'm not starting with an actual roux, and you can if you want. That's one awesome thing about soups is they're forgiving and kind of hard to mess them up. So we're just going to use, usually I use a whisk, but we're just going to use a fork for now and get it pretty well combined. If you didn't have flour, you could use cornstarch. You wouldn't use a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, just maybe a tablespoon of cornstarch. Cornstarch is definitely a pretty efficient thickening agent, so we wouldn't need as much of it. So we're just going to pour that on there. Pour in our beef broth. Basically, I just want this liquidy enough that the potatoes will cook in the liquid. So we're using canned tomatoes. I could have used my jarred tomatoes, but I do try to reserve those for recipes where the tomato is the star. In this recipe, definitely the meat is the star. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this because I don't want to lose out on any of those awesome tomato pieces. So I'm just gonna add some water, and then green chilies. So I had read that the reason that this is called Cowboy stew is this is a hearty and nutritious stew that cowboys could make when they were working in the field, wrangling. Pretty cool. Okay. Try to get as many of those beans out as I can because Matt actually really likes these beans. Most beans he tolerates, but I think that he likes these. Okay, so as far as spices, we are going to put a little bit of cumin in there. I like the smokiness almost of cumin. I debated whether to put regular paprika in or smoked paprika. We're going to go with regular paprika today. We'll see what happens. This is the first time I've made this, so I would guess if I know Matt, which I do, I'd guess he'd like this. So, but the first time I make it, I'm going to try to keep the flavors a little more simple for him. So I'm doing a teaspoon of paprika. I did a teaspoon of cumin. Both of those flavors I know that Matt likes. And then chili powder. I think this will be pretty yummy. And then I'm doing a teaspoon of chili powder. I have this other spice, so you could just end there and that would be perfect for this. But I bought this Bo's Bodega Bodacious Burger seasoning. I got it because obviously Bo, and there's a picture of a dog, so I had to buy it. I got this at the farmers market store in Milwaukee. I think it's called Market to Go or something like that. I'll figure out what it's called and I'll let you know. But I got this there and I love it. We've been putting it in our burgers. So, one last thing. Love garlic. So, we're going to throw some of that in. And that's it. I am trying pretty hard to do this efficiently and on camera all the steps so that I can say, this is how long it takes to put this together before you go to work. And it looks like we're going to be at 14 minutes. Part of that was probably me gib-gabbing. So I'm going to say 15 minutes or less. We'll do another clove. 15 minutes or less, and you can have this ready to plug in before you go to work, which is awesome. So I'm going to give this a stir, and then I'm just going to plug it in and walk away. And then we'll have this for dinner, and we will have Matt test it with us to get his opinions, which we always love. So there you go. Awesome. It should be delicious. I realized that I totally forgot to throw in a bag of frozen corn because Matt loves corn. So I threw that in as well. It's looking good.
Feedback.
Not that kind of feedback.
Cut.
Well, our cowboy stew is done. It smells awesome. I made some fresh wheat bread
Yeah, I'm
today.
happy about that.
You can find the wheat bread recipe if you scroll down. What do you
Looks really
think?
good.
It does. It smells good too.
So what's in here? Burger.
Yep, burger. All things you
Beans.
like. The only thing that you don't love that's in here is onion.
Okay.
And
Ooh, hot dogs.
yeah, there's green chilies in here, which you tolerate. And the
Okay.
rest of the stuff is, it's all Matt friendly. This is like the Matt soup. I like it.
I think it's good.
Kind of reminds me of like the block party beans, the recipe that we make for those, but kind of different though because there's not corn in those. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's got a tiny little bit of spice, but enough that I can handle it.
Yep.
Potatoes give it a good solid feel. And anytime you can put hot dogs in a soup, I think it's a win. So.
Yep, I knew he would like it. And that's one of the reasons I knew he would like it.
I give it 5 wooden spoons.
That's a good measure. What would you say? Measuring
Spoon.
Okay. Cool. Well, I hope you try it. It's definitely worth it. Quick and easy.